Hey guys, this is Louis from Shayoka Gaming. I figured I'd take a second to show y'all somewhat of a tool tip, if you will. Not quite, haven't done one of these in a while. I apologize for my weird camera angle here because the phone is on the pop socket kind of upwards. So, I was just kind of doing this. I'm almost done with it. I figured I'd show y'all, make a video out of it before I finish up. So, I just ordered, I just got a new Honda scooter for Christmas, right? And I ordered an air intake kit for it. A new intake manifold, because I also ordered a bigger carburetor for it, and I needed a air intake with a boot. The boot I've taken off to do this, but I'm 15, right? I'm not made of money. I could have went for like 350 bucks and gotten the scooter shop kit that I'm sure would have been just better overall, but I'm not made of money, so I went to Amazon. I bought a 20mm carburetor, PWK clone. All the jets for it were like 10 bucks, and then I bought this intake for it, which was like 25 bucks. And when I got this intake, it was all together, like it was all together kind of like this, kind of like that, right? But it had a reed cage in between, which I have taken out to do this, and I'm gonna put it all back together when I'm done. But I kind of already started this last one, so it doesn't look quite perfect. You can see it kind of, it's kind of hard to see on the camera, but you can see where it's dull. That's where I've been doing this process. The whole thing had this chrome plating on it. You see that? And it was very rough and uneven. This would probably not have sealed very well. And I imagine that this is the difference between a $70, $80 one, which I could have bought, or this $25 one. That's probably what the difference in quality is that those ones probably are finished better. They probably don't have that chrome plating at all there. It's probably, if they are chrome plated, maybe they're like, it's like milled off or like sanded off like this from the factory, because that does seem like a bad idea. And just overall, it wasn't very even. So let me show you what I've done. Here's the chrome, right? Here's what I did. See that? There's a little speck there, but you see that? That is called lapping. Lapping is a process where you take a piece of sandpaper like this, and one of these, pardon, there's a drum set and everything, but one of these granite stones. This is called the granite stone. This is a big flat stone. I was drinking the water, that's why there's an empty water bottle there, not just leaving it there. And so, I will now demonstrate to you what you do. Essentially, you want to get, and I'll probably have to switch the camera here, you want to get all that chrome plating off, and you want to make this as smooth and flat as possible. Because what I found was, when I started doing this, let me get a better angle for y'all here. What I found when I started doing this was, this, you can see how uneven it is. I've been doing it, look at how there's still just a bunch of parts with chrome still on them, and there's parts that have like different colors. It's not flat. Whereas once I did this, I flattened it all out. It's nice and smooth. It's hopefully going to seal well with a nice gasket. So, to start, what I do is, I just take it, and we're using about a 220 grit sandpaper. You can use, heck, if you need only to take a little thin layer off, you could use all the way up to 600. It doesn't matter. Depends on what you need. So all you do is you take it, right, and you go circle motions, light pressure. You do not want a whole bunch of pressure. That will mess you up. The best is really a figure 8 like this, but I find that to be somewhat of an awkward motion, so I just go in circles. You don't want to be going straight like this. You want to be going in some kind of curved circular motion, and what this is doing is, this is just sanding all of that chrome plating off, and it's making the surface flat. So, you just do this for a little while, and you see, hasn't changed much because this one still needs a lot of work. But I'll show you something else. Watch this. I have a Sharpie marker, right? Check this out. I have a Sharpie marker. All I'm gonna do, set the camera down for a minute, just to make it a bit easier for myself, and I'm gonna color this whole surface that I'm sanding down with a Sharpie. This is a common practice this is actually a very common practice when it comes to doing this kind of stuff. When you're sharpening the blade of a knife with a nice professional sharpener, you'll color the edge a lot of the times, and once all the Sharpie is removed, you'll know that it's all nice and even and then you can probably move on to the next grit or file number, if you will, because that's how they usually do that. So let me just color this whole thing for you. All right, let's cap the marker. Now check this out. The whole thing is colored. So now when I start to go sand it again, again, light pressure, you don't want much. And occasionally what you might consider doing is taking your sandpaper here and just kind of whacking it out to kind of get some of the junk off of it. Now take a look at this. Sanding it off, you could see where we've sanded off some of the marker. This is all high spots. And this place where there's marker, that's all dipped down lower spots. This would not seal very well, I feel. Or I think. Yeah, this would not seal very well because look how uneven the surface is. Unless you had like a real thick gasket, maybe some RTV, but like shoot. You don't want to have to do that kind of stuff on your, you know, it's a precision part, you know, that you want to have nice and even. This is unacceptable, right? Now, for $25, you get what you pay for, but you want to correct all this. So, you just keep on sanding. You just keep going, and you just do this until your part looks like this. Look how smooth and even it is. It's all one color. It's all good looking. And all I did was just sand it down. That's all I did. That flattened it out. And that made these two parts look like this. All I gotta do now is this third side. So, that is my little tip for y'all on a little quick lesson in lapping your intakes. You can do this, you know, with an intake. People say lapping valves. Well, that's kind of like this. Yeah, but you're doing it with like a circular valve. It's a little bit different. This is just something you can do simply. You want a nice flat surface, one of these granite stones probably, although they can be expensive. Find some kind of this nice flat work surface to do it. Honestly, you shouldn't do it on anything but a nice flat thing like this granite stone. But if you find like a nice, like this table's decently flat, but I don't know, I'm not entirely sure about that. Hey, you do that at your own discretion. Alright, well, thank y'all for watching. Peace out.